So we're in the shop today. What is today? Today is Tuesday. We got off work a little early today, an hour early, so I thought while I was off early and out here feeding, I'd do a little work to this truck. And my flash is on. So I got to get the airlines off of it, so that way I can get them replaced and then get this transmission back in it. Sunday, I put my Billy in with my does and moved the little kids out back. I got a video of that. It's kind of dark, but I'll check it out. I might put that video up, or I might make a new one. But it was quite the process. It wouldn't have been so bad if, one, I didn't do it by myself, and two, goats weren't so squirmish. What I did is the goat that was back here behind the barn, Jack, he's the Billy I used last year. I put him up with the does. Well, I had them 4 younger does, and they're all kids that were from last year, well, beginning of this year. So the chances of him breeding them were, slim. But I didn't want him to chase them and run them, so I put them back where he was. Put him up there. Getting him up there was no problem because he likes to fight. So as long as I walk in front of him and hold his horns, he'll want to chase me. And getting them 4 kids back there was quite the pain. 2 of them are real small. 2 of them a little bit bigger. I carried the littlest one back there, and then I put the other 3 in the bed of my truck. I got a little crate that I made a few years ago for hauling goats to cells and stuff. Well, I got the one goat in there. She bopped me in the ear, and that kind of hurt. It left a big old bump. I think I broke some blood vessels or something, but she hit me hard, man. Came back and just nailed me in the ear. And then the second goat, which was the biggest goat, biggest young kid, I picked her up and went to set her in the back of the truck. Well, she jumped out, so I had to chase her around. Then I called Casey. Casey had to come rescue me because I was having too much fun by myself. Then we got him switched around, and hopefully he's doing his business. But we're gonna work on this. I gotta get them airlines off, and they're all braided lines like that one there. And they're not like a steel braid, they're like a cloth. But I think I'm gonna put some steel braided lines on it, like this one over here. And I can make them myself. Buy the fittings and stuff. Where's that line at? Line, there you are. Like this one here. That's a steel braided line. Or stainless steel or something like that. But I think I'll probably do them all that way. I'm gonna check my Napa store to see what they do. They make hoses, but I don't know if they make them kind of hoses. See, I gotta replace this hose up here, so I'll probably just get rid of this one. Replace this hose. So I'll probably get rid of that one and make it all one single piece. But these lines here ought to be replaced. They need to be replaced because you'll never get to the suckers after that transmission's back in there. This is the fuel line. It ought to be replaced. So while it's sitting here taking up space in my barn, I ought to take him out because I'd like to get it out before winter really sets in, but at the same time I don't know if I want it sitting outside just because the cab's kind of in rough shape. I mean, it's set outside its whole life, I ain't gonna bother it. But and then I want to get some fenders made for it because this fender over here somebody whammied pretty hard. And it's right where this is. And when you got your trailer on there, your trailer rides about here, and I got fat arms. Probably can't tell, but I can only get in here about this far. That's quite the distance. And the chub of my arm gets stuck, and it's not a good situation. And with this truck, the fifth wheel doesn't lock out, or doesn't pull out. You got to kind of rock the truck. It's a 2-man job. it needs another fifth wheel. And that's in the plan later on down the road. Getting a different fifth wheel that actually unlocks from the driver's side. And you can slide without 3 people. It'd be a 3-person job. It's got these, but I don't know how them work. They don't hold these out, so I'll probably get if I'm gonna get a fifth wheel, I'll probably get one with an air lock for the slide. I think they even got them air locked for the kingpin. I don't know, but that'll probably come if I redo the frame, because it is eventually in the plan somewhere on down the line, but not anytime soon. The fifth wheel might actually come before the frame, but the fenders are on my list of stuff to do next. I'll have some custom made with new brackets, because them brackets are, I guess they're alright, but I don't like these fenders. Really, I wouldn't put fenders back on it, but Dad insists it has fenders. So when I have fenders made, I'll probably make like some kind of little bumper for the back for the lights and the license plate. Just to make it look a little bit better, not like it's some kind of hillbilly operation. So, enough rambling, let's get this show on the road. Alright, so we're up under the big old beast. This mosquito cable. For some reason, I feel like I'm in clean clothes, like good clothes that I shouldn't get dirty, but I'm not, because I wear these to work every day. Well, not every day, but I wear them to work. But I got my good shoes on, because Casey threw away my comfortable old ones because there's a hole in them. So I guess these are the new old shoes. So that means I gotta go buy a pair of new good shoes. But, anyways, before I start, I want recommendations on a good creeper. Not like a Craigslist creeper. A roll-around creeper for working under vehicles. I got a Z creeper from Roll King a few years ago, and it works all right. It folds up into a seat. That's why it's called the Z creeper. One of the wheels fell off and I lost it. Like the threaded piece that's in the creeper fell out and I lost it, so I don't know where it's at. So I'm looking for a good creeper, preferably one that folds up into a seat. But if it doesn't, that's no big deal. And then if you recommend one that doesn't fold up into a seat, recommend me a good roll-around seat. I seen one at Roll King on sale. It was a toolbox, had 3 drawers in it. It was a seat for $40, but I haven't had a good experience with their Z creeper, so I sure wouldn't get their other thing. But alright, I gotta take that line off. It got mashed by something. And I gotta look. See if I can take you guys with me. Block out that big old bright light. See all these lines above me? They all gotta come out, because they all got mashed. So we'll start taking some lines off. And I probably won't have you watch all that, because there's a lot of lines to take off and a lot of stuff's going to fall on my face. And I'm having a hard time seeing with that light. And recommend some good magnetic rechargeable lights, you know. Just, they're like, I don't even know what they're like, but they got like a little pedestal with a magnet on them. Something like that. Something I can recharge. I don't got to replace batteries in. I don't got to have a stupid cord running to it all the time, tangling stuff up. And causing me problems. Because I already have enough problems. I don't need no more. Okay, let me get at her here. I'll come back in a minute. Alright, so I'm working on getting the first hose off, the one you see me start on. But I was trying to live stream, and for those of you that caught it, good for you. I lost my connection. I had great signal, and then all of a sudden I had no signal. So I want to get some kind of booster for inside the barn so I can do live streams and stuff while I'm working on things. Any of you guys have any experience with that? Because that's all new and foreign to me. And what gave me the idea is it was on Facebook, and I stumbled across a guy who was living in a storage unit. Some kind of video popped up in my newsfeed. And he had some kind of cell phone signal booster, because once he was locked in his storage unit, he didn't have no signal. So, you guys that use any of them, what do you use? How's it work? Because I'd like to be able to do more stuff from in the barn, or maybe even at home, like in my garage. I don't know what the cell service is like in there. So, but I think a live stream would be good, especially working on something. You guys can give me some hints on the fly instead of waiting until the end. Or you can be like, hey, you're doing that wrong. Or hey, this might work better for you. And then you guys can see me live. And I won't keep the footage. I like J.C. Smith's idea of deleting the live streams like a hangout. Because if you guys are watching me live, I'll probably do stuff that isn't very ad friendly. You know what I'm saying? With YouTube's new stupid rules. Probably shouldn't even say that, they'll dock me or something. But you know, might get a little crazy. Might get to see a little raw action. So, alright, I gotta get up into this little nook and cranny up here. See that fitting up there? Got it broke loose. I did that during the little live stream thing. Which, it'll probably... I won't keep it. It'll probably be up for a little bit. Because YouTube won't work long enough for me to delete it in the barn. So for those of you that watch it, good for you. You can see what I did. Be proud of me. Or laugh at me, because it was probably kind of funny. I poked myself a couple times. So, alright, let me shut this off. You guys don't want to look at my butt or my gut or whatever. It's going to be facing the camera. Okay, so trying to let you guys look at kind of what I'm doing. I don't want to keep you all in the dark. But I was sitting here thinking, and I know I'm going to do at least the lines that run under the, or run above the transmission here. And then I got to look, and there's a lot of lines, and there, you know, this truck's a 73. They've been on here a long time. I bet you none of these have been changed. And I'm thinking about changing every single one of them on this whole truck, because the last thing I need is a brake line going out or my air line and losing all my air. And I haven't had this truck long enough or run it long enough to really know if it's going to have any problems, because the best I know is my buddy's uncle. He knows the guy who had this truck before the people I bought it from. It's a lowboy truck. The guy had a construction company, and pulled a lowboy. Well, I guess this truck sat for a while that guy had it, and then it got sold to another company right up the road from the house here, and it sat for at least 5 years there. So this truck hasn't been run. We maybe put just shy of 100 miles on it, probably. Maybe 100 miles. I don't know. I have to look at the title, see what it said. But you know, that's not really long enough to test everything. And this truck will be a weekend used truck. And I probably ought to change all the air junction boxes, because they got all kinds of crap in them. And the hoses, or the nippled fittings, kind of look scored. And I ran into that problem when I changed the brake chamber. The fitting was scored. I tightened it on and it leaked. So I had to buy a new fitting. So I probably ought to do that as well. What do you guys think? Should I do that? Go through all that trouble? I mean, I plan on having this truck a while. I gotta have it at least 6 years for it to pay for itself. Through the math that me and Dad worked out. Because I own the truck, sort of. I bought it for this straw project gig that we're doing. And I bought it with my money, and then Dad asked if I wanted reimbursed for the truck, which by getting reimbursed for the truck makes me a 50-50 partner of this straw project, what I want to call entity. So if I didn't do that, I wouldn't become a 50-50 partner, and I would get paid just for my time and truck rental and stuff like that. So when everything was paid off, I wouldn't be getting that much money. But with me being 50-50 now, because I sold the truck to the straw project, which means half the truck's Dad's, half the truck's mine. So if we go to get rid of the truck and I want to keep it, I would have to give him my half of the profit from the truck, or whatever the truck sold for, you know. If the truck sold for $500, I'd have to give him $250. And but that makes me half owner in the semi trailers and half owner in the hay wagons. Yeah, I bought all the hay wagons, and I initially bought everything, the semi and the trailers. I bought them to use for that, and I bought them myself because I wanted, you know, I didn't want Dad to buy something and then me not like it. So I bought the truck because I like trucks. You know, I thought it would be a good truck, it'd be fun to have. So I told him I'd pick out the truck, he could pick out the trailers, and then the hay wagons we just bought because we need them. But I bought those, about this. So the truck belongs to the straw project entity thing. It's in my name. I buy the tags. It's my truck, but not really. Get what I'm saying? So any money I put into the truck is basically a donation to the straw thing, because we'll lose money. But we figured it up, and for me to pay the truck off, and we figure up pretty well what we're going to make, because it's a guaranteed number every year. Whatever price we decide per bale times 3,500 bales. And then we got to give, for the labor of the school, we got to give what they want. So then that, I know what they want. And then the rest is our profit, and we split it up based on how much capital we invested, I guess would be the right word. Like I get 40% of the profit, Dad gets 60. He had a bigger investment. You know, he's got the semi trailers, and he spent a lot on the semi trailers. I have a little under half invested. That's included the truck, the transmission, which costs just as much as the truck, and then the 3 hay wagons. So that makes me 40%, but when everything gets paid off, I will become 50%. If you guys are following along with that. So, and we figured it up to take about 6 years for me to recoup what I have invested right now. And that's not including any baler, tractor, or anything like that. That's just kind of a wash. And the tags, that's all a wash. But, and if we never sell the truck and keep it, I never have to split the money, so. But if I want to keep the truck, I want to make it my own, I would probably sell out or buy out my half, the other half of it. So then it would be fully my truck. But what do you guys think on a different note, the airline? Should I replace all the lines that run up under here, except maybe the hard lines? This is a copper line, and well, you know what? You can't tell if it's been soldered, or might have been soldered up. Might not be a bad idea to replace that line, but I wouldn't know where to get hard lines at. And that's definitely a spot you probably want a hard line. Probably could make it. It's got these, you can't even see that because the little danglies in the way. And you still can't see it because my big head's blocking light. But it's got these little unions or whatever you call them. They're these, but on a hard line, like a brake line. And then that runs from the compressor. It's got it ends right here, but up here's the hose for the compressor, and it runs to the first tank. And also, I'm thinking about putting an air dryer on this truck because it doesn't have one. And if I plan on doing anything in the winter with it, I don't want any water in the lines. And this truck seems to make quite a bit of water. Plus it puts in some oil in the air dryer. I'd probably go with a Bendix. They have just like a filter that'll take oil out. And then they have one that takes oil and water out. But I seen Hendrix, I think it was Hendrix. They have some kind of, and I couldn't find it, but it's a condenser. I couldn't find it on their website. It's a condenser that it condenses the air and gets rid of most of the water. It cools the air and it evaporates the water out. It condenses it. I shouldn't have to explain it, so I thought about putting just that on it, but I don't know. We'll see. An air dryer is $150 to $250, and I would have to find a spot to mount it, which there's plenty of room on this old sucker somewhere. I'd probably mount it back up over in here in this area, up in between that fuel tank and the battery box, or somewhere, or over by the hydraulic tank. I'd have to reroute airlines that way, but so this might all get changed again, because I could cut this line out, run my air hose up here and out to the dryer, and then back here where I could put the air dryer up by the engine somewhere. We'll see, that'll come in time. But I noticed it's got another little air tank on it. I never noticed this little air tank until I got up under it. It's never been drained. I don't know exactly what it's for, but it's got, how many tanks? It's got 3 tanks, including the little one. There's one up above right here. It's got this tank and then one up above it. So on these older trucks that don't have the air dryer, they had what they call the wet tank, where your air pretty much cooled down and condensated, and all your liquids and junk stayed in the tank. And my Mac's the same way. It makes a lot of water. I mean, a bunch of water. So it might eventually get an air dryer too. I'm not too thrilled with that truck, so I might not do that. I might wait till we get a better dump truck or something. But dinner is almost ready, so this will probably be the last of the video I make right now. Call it part 1. And we'll see. I won't make the ending for the video just yet, but we'll pause here anyways, and I'll do a little bit more work. Actually, you know what? This thing's got a 4th air tank on it. It's got like an auxiliary air tank for stuff right there. I just noticed that. It's got a little air fitting on it. So, all right, I'll do a little bit more stuff here, and we'll check in a minute. Okay, so my phone died, and I didn't get to finish the video up in the barn, but I got pretty much all the hoses that you've seen. It was like 6 hoses disconnected from the truck. I gotta disconnect 3 of them from back by the brakes, and I got just like 1 or 2 more that go from this valve to the tanks to take out. And you're wondering how I'm going to remember where these hoses goes. I can feel it. You're like, he's gonna forget. Oh no, steel trap. I could have done it 2 ways. One of 2 ways. I'm going to do it one of the 2 ways. I'm sure there's many different ways, but this is the two that I thought of. I worked with a cat mechanic, and on excavators there's a lot of hoses, go to different places. He used colored zip ties. I don't have that many different colors, let alone that many zip ties. The way I'm going to do it is, we have technology nowadays. One, I could go back and look at the video, or two, what I'm doing is I took pictures of the hoses and the valves that they go to, like the whole cluster. I went far back and got the cluster. I'm going to edit letters for each valve and then put the same letter with the corresponding valve on the hose and try that. I should be able to do that, I think. So I hope, because I don't have any other way to do it other than like masking tape with the letter on the hose, and I didn't have any masking tape handy. So, and dinner was ready. You can't be late for dinner. So anyways, I did a lot of rambling in this video and didn't show you much work, so it's just hard to film up under that truck and see what I'm doing, because I'm so many different places at once and I'm right in the way. But I'll try to get some better footage where I'm working. I'm going to replace the other brake chamber on that truck. I replaced the one, and I replaced them, if you guys don't know, I replaced the brake chambers because when I would set the brakes on the truck, they would take forever to set. I mean, a minute plus. You could let off the service brakes, and while the parking brake was engaging, the truck would roll and roll, and I actually hit the door of the barn one time because it rolled forward. I hit it with the exhaust pipe, actually, when I was putting it in the barn to work on it. So I replaced the one brake chamber, hoping that would, like, maybe they were on for so long that the springs were out. Just a thought I had. But I replaced the one, didn't fix it. And I ended up finding inside the cab, along the bottom, back side of the cab where all the airlines run, one of the little dinky airlines was melted. And it was barely letting any air through. So I fixed that. They set faster, but they still don't set that fast. So I'm wondering if the lines going back to them aren't decaying and pinched and stuff like that, because they even release kind of slow. So hopefully by changing all the airlines, it's good to go, and by putting the new chambers on, it's ready to go. And it's only got brake chambers on one axle. It's got the little bitty 30, type 30, I want to say, piggybacks for the front steer axle and the back drive axle. So they're only service brakes, but it's only got park brakes on one axle. And I could probably change it if I wanted to put two 30-30s on the back, because that's what it has, is 30-30s. I think that's what I bought. It said type 30, and the replacement's 30-30. I don't remember. We bought them off eBay, so they're the same match. But so yeah, that's what we're doing to the truck. I need to find me a new creeper, a cell phone signal booster, and we should be in business. But let me know what you guys think on the air dryer. I'm not familiar with big trucks too much. I mean, I know my way around them. I know enough just to be dangerous. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are of the air dryer, and anything you could think of along that lines, and about all the airlines changing them. I think it should be done. Maybe you guys think that's a little too much. So anyways, before I keep rambling on, this is probably a 20-minute video, but thanks for watching.